Steve, Pennsylvania, you're on the Wilkow Majority. Hello.
Hey, Andrew, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I just think the class warfare thing that the conservatives, your side, is always saying, I think it's coming more from your guys. You guys are constantly attacking the poor while defending the rich. And just you attacking the people that are protesting down on Wall Street is a classic example of that.
Well, no, I'm not protecting anyone down on Wall Street. Are the rich not worthy of defense?
No, actually, the people on Wall Street really, really screwed up. And so, like, you're mad at...
But wait a second. You're telling me that Obama giving them money, or even Bush for that matter, that the government giving them money is their fault? How did they get that money? How did they get bailed out? Do you have the same... Do you have the same problem? Hold on. Do you have the same problem with General Motors? Is General Motors any less to blame for this?
No, I'm against bailouts when it goes to banks or to the private sector, GE or whatever.
Well, here's the thing about the banking industry, sir. They're regulated by the government. They can only do what the government says. If that yes, they are, sir. Really, there's no Securities and Exchange Commission. There's no Federal Trade Commission.
Oh, and what's his name, Cox? You think Christopher Cox was actually regulating these guys? He was in bed with these guys. It's the same thing with all these federal regulators.
Well, for all intents and purposes, the government set up agencies to regulate the banking industry, to regulate Wall Street, to regulate the stock trade in this country. Then you can blame government for failing to do its job. You can't blame those who are regulated. You have to blame the regulators. Because unless the regulated fail to live up to the obligations of the regulatory agencies, then you have a violation there. But if they're following the regulations and the regulations cause them to have a downturn, to go broke, to get into trouble, then you have to blame the regulator. But it's very funny. The government, on one hand, regulates an industry. If the industry fails, the government, on the other hand, bails it out. And then we blame the industry.
It happens in every industry, the oil industry, everything. It's all regulators. Our government is co-opted by special interests, corporate interests. It's a problem no matter what side.
But you're blaming the industry for that. You're not blaming government at all.
I'm blaming the government.
Okay.
Our government's in bed with corporations. You guys defend corporations.
But corporations don't have law enforcement. Corporations don't have courts. They don't have the power to coerce. They're not government. If the government lets them get away with it, then they're going to get away with it. You can't blame an industry for living in the parameters that the government creates for them.
They buy our politicians. Corporations actively buy our government, and you guys are okay with that. You guys?
No, I'm not okay with that.
What about the Supreme Court ruling?
You mean treating corporations like unions?
Corporations are people too, right? So
well, hold on. Do you believe that unions should be able to make political contributions?
No, I think everything should be capped. It should be I don't think anyone should be able to give any huge dollar amount that not a single individual can make themselves.
Well, if you're going to say that what goes for the corporations goes for the unions, that's at least fair and consistent.
Unions are the Democratic side of this. Of course, I'm not saying one side is better than the other. I'm saying that the amount of money spent by these corporations on our elections, on even on the judgeship elections, Chamber of Commerce now is buying judges, which is just disgusting.
But even in the end, sir, people still have to vote for them. All the money in the world can't make you or I go into the polls and flick one of those livers.
Like Americans are they go with whoever the corporate media tells them.
Oh, so now they're all a bunch of idiots out there. So you're the only smart one who sees it, and everybody else is a bunch of knuckle-dragging idiots.
Well, I mean, look how many people watch Fox News. I mean, come on.
Look at how many people watch MSNBC.
Not as much as Fox, but still, it's the same problem. You're right. It's just corporate garbage news and corporate garbage candidates. It's a Democratic.
But if it was so, again, that's the essence of the free market. Fox puts out its news product. CBS puts out its news product. CNN puts out its news product. People are choosing to watch Fox News, and Fox News is dominant. But Fox News isn't dominant because of Rupert Murdoch. Fox News is dominant because they've accrued the largest share of audience based on the programming they put on TV.
Right, because they're playing to the lowest common denominator. People that don't like newspapers, people that don't want to read and get enlightened. They just want to say.
Since when is the newspaper? Well, hold on. Since when is the newspaper the be-all, end-all of enlightenment? Which newspaper you think is more enlightened than Fox News?
Actually, the New York Times, I think, is absolutely, and I can tell you why. If you give me 1 second, I'll tell you why.
All right.
Because in Pennsylvania, we have a problem with the gas companies and the pollution it's causing. The New York Times, the only one that did an investigative piece on that and uncovered EPA documents that showed that no matter what the regulators are telling us, or no matter what the oil companies are telling us, gas companies are telling us, our water is being poisoned because they can't actively clean this water. No one told. They never covered it on Fox News. They never covered it anywhere. New York Times actually does investigative reporting. Fox News this incites people to get angry.
Well, then you don't watch Fox News because Fox News does plenty of investigative reporting.
Oh, someone.
And by the way, when was the last time a Fox News staffer was disgraced by plagiarism?
The Fox News lies all the time, but they never retract.
No, I didn't say lies. Lies are according to you. I'm asking you when was the last time a Fox News reporter was run out for plagiarism?
I don't know. When?
Okay, well, until the New York Times doesn't have a plagiarism problem with people like Jason Blair.
What about Ron Paul?
Okay, I knew that was coming. 1-866-95-PATRIOT.